مشاهدينا في كل مكان، أهلا بيكم حلقة جديدة من برنامجنا. احنا النهاردة هنتكلم عن العلاقات السياسية والدبلوماسية وأيضا الفنية وفي مجال النقل والمواصلات بين المكسيك وجمهورية مصر العربية. هيكون ضيفنا النهاردة معالي السفير خوسيه أوكتافيو تريب، سفير المكسيك بجمهورية مصر العربية. فابقوا معنا. بشرفنا نكون معنا النهاردة معالي السفير خوسيه أوكتافيو تريب، سفير المكسيك بالقاهرة. Your Excellency, first please allow me to thank you for this interview.
On the contrary, it's an honor to have you in the Embassy of Mexico. Thank you for visiting us.
And is there any cooperation in between the two countries in the field of tourism?
It's interesting your question because 3-4 weeks ago I received a phone call from Mexico, and a relevant group of tour operators are extremely interested in improve the air connectivity between Mexico and Egypt, because currently we don't have a direct flight between both countries. And we have noticed that a lot of Mexicans are visiting Egypt, and also the opposite. Is interesting how a lot of Egyptians are choosing Egypt for honeymoon. So there is some kind of boom in the exchange of tourists are booming. And of course Egypt is always extremely attractive because of the pyramid. Basically the historical sites are very attractive for the Mexicans. So but their connectivity is crucial in order to do that.
In addition of this, can you, Your Excellency, also tell us anything about the future of the cooperation in between Mexico and Egypt? Do you have any other plans for the future in any field?
Well, always. This is an endless job, so always identify areas of opportunity. So I'm sure that as a result of the trade mission, probably we will identify additional areas of possible collaboration, and always exists the chance in specific areas. For instance, let me highlight, for instance, the potential that exists between Mexico and Egypt, talking about mega cities. Cairo and Mexico City, both with almost 20 million inhabitants and with similar problems in terms of mobility, in terms of pollution. We have, and you have, successful experiences dealing with challenges like that, and even bad experiences, and also it's very useful to exchange bad experiences in order to avoid waste of time and money, and in such area, in the collaboration between mega cities is an extraordinary area of collaboration, and let's see if we can promote this collaboration in the future. And of course, environmental issues are going to be extremely relevant, not only because we have megacities like Cairo, Mexico City, but also because Egypt is going to be hosting COP27, so you are going to be the reference of the world, but at the same time this is opening another window of opportunity of mutual collaboration between Mexico and Egypt. We have in some way similar level of development, so sometimes it's more realistic to exchange experiences between countries with a similar level of development instead of trying to cooperate with the world leaders, because at the end of the day it means a lot of money, and sometimes developing countries, exactly what we don't have is a lot of money. So imagination and another kind of creativity used to be extremely relevant in such context. So South-South collaboration between Mexico and Egypt can be an extraordinary additional area of collaboration.
Your Excellency, you said you have been here for 5 years in Egypt, so for sure you have visited a lot of places. Can I ask you about the most place that left an influence in yourself?
Historical sites. As you know, in Mexico we have a lot of beaches, beautiful beaches, and also historical sites. But for me, from my personal point of view, the pyramids and the temples that you have are unique. I'm a fan of the pharaonic heritage that you have here. So it's impossible to be tired of visiting several times Luxor, Giza, Saqqara, you name it. So I'm a fan of the historical site that you have in this country. Impressive indeed.
And what about the Egyptian, the people themselves? You have been around them for 5 years. How do you see the people here in Egypt and also the Egyptian kitchen? This is something unique also, I think we have.
This is another side or another factor of similarity between Mexicans and Egyptians. Both peoples are very friendly. So since I arrived to this country, immediately Egyptians were very nice and polite with my wife and me, inviting us to their houses. It's not easy to do that in other countries, in other areas of the world. And here people is very warm, it's very friendly. So this is something that I really appreciate. Family values of the people is evident, as it is the case of the Mexicans. So I really admire the Egyptian mood, the Egyptian character, because they're extremely friendly, very, very, very nice, and you feel very comfortable in this country because of that. And talking about cuisine, I have a joke about it, because when some journalists or colleagues or the Egyptian ask me, okay, and what about complaints? And I used to say, well, only two, and one of them is desserts. Why desserts? Because I cannot resist them. So I eat too much Egyptian desserts. Omale, for instance, it's my favorite. So this is a problem. Because Omale. So I love the Egyptian cuisine, of course.
And if I may ask, can I ask about the position of the Mexican women in Mexico nowadays?
Well, the Mexican women plays a role of first order in the Mexican society, and during the last decades, and particularly during this government, the policy of empowerment of women is impressive. As a matter of fact, the Mexican Ministry of Foreign Affairs is the leader in the cabinet promoting the empowerment of women. As a matter of fact, we say that we have a feminist foreign policy, promoting a lot of my colleagues, women, in different relevant positions in foreign affairs, and recognizing the very relevant role that the women play not only in Mexico but in the world. So we are very proud of the effort that the Mexican governments are doing lately, promoting the empowerment of women.
we heard about cooperation in between the two countries in the field of transportation. Is this correct?
Right, the Ministry of Transport visited Mexico 1.5 years ago in order to see the operation of the Metrobus and then the Metropolitan bus that cross Mexico City, despite the fact of the problems of traffic that we have. Because, as I said a few minutes ago, the potential of collaboration in issues like, or matters like mobility are huge. So we can exchange a lot of experiences in such areas as well.
And if you allow me, can we please talk about the cultural cooperation in between the two countries?
It's very intense and diversified and successful at the same time. When we present cultural activities in Cairo or in Alexandria, always we have a lot of people, particularly young Egyptians, and that they really appreciate the cultural expressions, not only of Mexico, by the way, but it is an incentive for the artists to visit Egypt, and Cairo in particular. Cairo, frankly speaking, is the cultural capital of the Arab world. So this is why a lot of artists in the world, and the Mexicans in such contexts, really want to present their works or their performances in Cairo. So during the last 4 years, we have had in Egypt all kind of cultural expressions. In sculpture, the Wings of Mexico was in a giant sculpture was displayed in the Opera House here in Cairo. Music, dances, at the same time, in the area of film industry, I mean in the movies and the film festivals, the Mexican presence is constant. Singers, so all kind of cultural expressions, and we are very happy and proud with such activity.
Speaking about films, I would like to ask you, how do you see the participation of the Mexican film in Cairo Festival Film this year?
We are very happy because this year the Mexican movie won the Golden Pyramid, but it's not the first time. 3 years ago, the Mexican film also won the Golden Pyramid in the festival, among other awards.
Your Excellency, the Ambassador of Mexico, Jose Octavio Tripp, thank you so much for this interview. Thank you so much, sir.
On the contrary, thank you for the visit, and I hope to see you more often for this embassy. It was a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
And all the best for Egypt and Mexico in Qatar, in the World Soccer Championship.
Inshallah. Thank you. شكرا لكم لحسن متابعتكم النهارده. كنا معاكم من داخل سفارة المكسيك، تحديدا في ضيافة معالي السفير خوسيه اوكتابيو تريب سفير المكسيك بجمهورية مصر العربية. أشكركم وعلى وعد بلقاء آخر، وإلى اللقاء.